If I want to make a choose your own adventure game, and I'm going to start off with the HTML. I'm in Visual Studio Code. I'm just going to go to File, New File. I'm going to make a new HTML file. I'm going to save this, save as. I'm going to put it on my desktop, make a new folder. I'm going to put it in a folder called Adventure Game. Great, and then I'm going to call this game.html. Start off with the HTML tag, so HTML. Then I'm going to tell it, I'm going to put in some text. In a dark room, blah, 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 like that. And then I'm going to close the HTML, HTML. Save that. I'm going to go to my Google Chrome, and I'm going to open, Command O to open, into my adventure game and into my game.html. You see some text, the text I typed in.
And typed in was made of wood, the first thing made of wood, and for that matter, so the ceiling. There are two doors on the north side and the south side of the room respectively. There's a bookshop containing at least 100 books. What do you do?
The user needs to input what they're going to do. I'm going to put a little input or text box for them to enter their text. Back into my code. First, I'm going to put this in a paragraph. P, like that. Close the paragraph. Later on, we can style that paragraph. We can make the text a certain size, but we need the paragraph tag in order to do that. I'm going to make something called an input. Input. The type is going to be text. Text inside apostrophes or single quotes. Type is text. I'm going to put on change is equal to when somebody presses enter, that's what the on change refers to. I'm going to have it go to a function in JavaScript to do something. Handle my input. The name of the function describes what it's going to do. It's going to handle the input. It's going to do something with it. That's going to be the end of my input tag. When you're closing a tag, you always put a slash that says I'm closing, and then I'm just closing the bracket. Notice the difference between the paragraph tag. The paragraph tag, this is the start of it, and then we have a separate tag to close it. Here, it's all self-contained. It's all just one thing, putting in the one tag. Save that and go back to here and run it. We end up with, you're in a dark room, the walls are made of wood, and so on. And here we have a text box, and I'm going to write hi. And if I press return, nothing happens. One of the places where we see things happen is in the JavaScript console. I'm in Chrome, I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to go to Developer, and then I'm going to go to JavaScript console. It appears down here, and it says handleMyInput is not defined, so there's an error. I've told it to go to handleMyInput, but it doesn't know what I'm talking about. I want to make a handleMyInput, and I want to put that into a JavaScript document, right? So I'm just going to go and make a new document, Command N to make a new document, and I'm going to file save as. It's going to be saved in the same place, and this one I'm going to call game.js for JavaScript. Save. I'm going to make a function called handleMyInput. So function, handleMyInput, open bracket, close bracket, and then open brace bracket and close brace bracket, and then I'm going to just make a little console. It's what writes into the JavaScript console. So I'm going to write console log. We are in handleMyInput. Save that. Back into my HTML for a second. In my HTML, I'm going to be using some script. So I'm going to write script type equals text slash JavaScript src. Source of it is going to be equal to game.js. I close that, and then I don't put anything in here, but I'm going to put the close to the script tag. Script, close of script. Save that, come back over here, I'm pressing the refresh button. Then I'm writing hi. Look what's happening down here when I press enter. We are in handleMyInput. It means the handleMyInput function worked. Let's go back and have a look at what we can do further. I want to figure out, well, what did I type in handleMyInput? The easiest way to get that is to say document.getElement. And see, notice when I start typing, it suggests things. That's what we're after. Get element by ID. The ID was my input. I haven't given it an ID. So let's go back to the game HTML. Let's give this input an ID. The right ID is equal to my input. Please notice that when I'm putting two words like my and input, I don't put a space between them, but I capitalize the second and third and fourth words. Back into the game.js, now I want to handle it.